Hey trumpet nerds, welcome back to John Talks Trumpet. This time, we're doing a feature of the Yamaha Tom Hooten Signature Series mouthpiece. First, let's quickly go through the specs of this mouthpiece. The rim is extremely similar in shape and diameter to a Yamaha 17B4, also very comparable to a Bach 1¼ C. The cup is almost exactly a 17B4, but with a slightly wider throat entrance. The throat is a 25 or 0.149 inches, and the backbore is most similar to Yamaha C backbore, but has a bit more volume in the lower half. Tom Hooten, Principal Trumpet of the LA Phil, described his mouthpiece on Trumpet Herald as being close to a 17B4 with a slightly open throat and a modified backbore that is close to a 24, but better in terms of holding down the pitch above the staff. In another post on Facebook, Tom compares it to a Bach 1¼ C, saying it's close to a 1¼ C with slight modifications that help me keep the upper G down and have an overall very even response. Hooten compared his mouthpiece to both the Yamaha 17B4 and the Bach 1¼ C because they are extremely similar. You can see this very clearly by comparing the two in VennCAD, an unbelievable piece of software for comparing, altering, and designing mouthpieces. And keep in mind how similar the 17B4 is to the 1¼ C throughout this comparison. Now, I've got the Yamaha Tom Hooten in dark orange compared to the Yamaha 17B4 in the lighter beige color. It immediately strikes me that, indeed, the Hooten is a 17B4 with a few small but important changes. Of course, we should keep in mind that these scans are of just one example of the Hooten and the 17B4, but Yamaha is known to be a very consistent mouthpiece manufacturer, so probably these are good representations. The Hooten Rim is a little different from the 17B4 in these ways. First, the high point, shown by the dot, of the Hooten Rim is slightly further out towards the middle of the rim compared to the 17B4. Next, the Hooten Rim is flatter overall, with the slope of the outer rim being more gradual than on the 17B4. Lastly, the bite, otherwise known as the rim cup angle or alpha angle of the Hooten, is even smoother than the already fairly smooth bite of the 17B4. To me, the smoother bite and slightly flatter rim make the Hooten a little bit more comfortable on the face than a typical 17B4 or 1¼ C, but those of you who like a sharper bite, like the Park Orchestral or Bach 1X style rims, may not prefer the smoother Hooten style rim. The Hooten Cup is again super similar to the 17B4 with one notable difference. It has a slightly enlarged throat entrance, sometimes also called the second cup, probably to accommodate the 25 throat. If you look closely, there's also a bit less of a curve heading into the throat, which might allow more air to more quickly move into the backbore with less reflection. The throat, a 25, is a very common throat size for orchestral players, so no surprises there. The backbore is actually quite unique. Tom refers to it as being smaller than the 24 backbore, and he's definitely right about that. Based on this scan, I would say it's a bit bigger than the Yamaha C backbore, which is the stock backbore on the Yamaha 17B4. Yes, I know it's a bit confusing, with a bit of extra volume about 3/4 of the way down. For context, the Yamaha C backbore is very similar to the Bach 10 backbore, which is stock on Bach C cup mouthpieces, with the Bach 10 perhaps being slightly larger on average. The Hooten falls between the volume of the Bach 10 and the Bach 24 backbores. Especially in terms of overall volume, the Hooten is pretty efficient for an orchestral backbore. Okay, John, enough talking, let's hear it. Because the Hooten is so heavily inspired by the Yamaha 17B4 and the Bach 1¼ C, I would recommend the Yamaha Tom Hooten mouthpiece to any of the Bach 1¼ C players out there looking for a comfortable and efficient orchestral mouthpiece. The Yamaha Thomas Hooten Signature Series trumpet mouthpiece is available for about $50. Again, I love these Yamaha Signature Series mouthpieces because you get a mouthpiece with orchestral specs for a stock mouthpiece price. If you're curious, maybe go pick one up and give it a try. Thanks to Tom for working hard with Yamaha to make his custom mouthpiece available for everyone. thanks so much for joining me for this episode of John Talks Trumpet. If you've played this mouthpiece, please leave a comment sharing your experiences below, and I'll see you on my next nerdy trumpet adventure.